So this was where we stopped here yesterday. That was in section 2. But I went a step ahead by adding a second page and some other questions and some other question types. So how do we add a page to our survey? By default, our survey comes with one page, but we have the opportunity to add more pages. So if I am here now, this is where we were before. So I could go ahead there and click on page. This is it there, under the display and structure section. So if once I click on page, you can see it automatically adds a new page. And it moves this to the first one, it moves it to page 1 of 3. Let me delete all what I had there before. I can go ahead and do that. It's not a problem. Let me delete them so that we start on the same page. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. Good. Good. So this is what we had before now. This is what we had before now. So to create additional pages, I can deliberately make each section a page. So I can come here right here where we have this section ending, and I can click on the page to add a page there. So we can see now I have page 2 of 3, and automatically it moved section 2. So I can drag section 2 here. You can see that now. I've got section 2 on page 2. And I have something like untitled page, which means I can rename this. I can name it section 2, if the case be. So I can still actually take out all this book if I'm not comfortable with it. This now becomes section 1. Automatically, this becomes section 1. I think I press this twice, so I can have section 3 here. Quite easily done. So for section 3, what are the questions we have in section 3? Section 3 has to do with is that economic activities or what? Okay, this is section 3. Access to basic services. Access to basic services, that's section 3. Access to basic services. Okay, so do I go with a group or I just decide to go that way? I can decide to do, I don't know the group since I've actually created a page for each of them. So I may not need to have a group anymore. So I can just start adding my questions directly. So what are the questions under section 3? Do you have access to clean water and a whole lot of questions like that? I think I have some expanded questions somewhere there. Okay, good. So these are 4 related questions asked with yes or no. I can put them somewhere here under single select grid. Okay. This is question 7, if I'm not mistaken. Access to basic necessities, basic needs, basic services. batch edit. Okay. Okay. So for the options, I could do yes, no, and I've got that. So the next question there is, how far do you travel to get water? Okay. How far do you travel to get water? So I can decide to go ahead and add all that also. Let me quickly move to section 4, so that we can use the other question types there. Section 4. So this will also involve adding a new page also. Okay, so have a new page also to add. So this is section 4. Perception to poverty. For perception to poverty, I have some questions also. So look at this question now. Which of these services do you think are the most important for reducing poverty? So what does this question look like? Does it look like a ranking question? So I can actually modify this to be a ranking question. You see? So there's a rank somewhere here. So this is a ranking question. So the question can be, this is question 8. Rank, so we could say rank this in order of importance. Rank the following.
Not really ranking, be like read.
I didn't get that.
We are going to have it as
the network, you are not audible enough, sorry. So this is the options. This is the options. So this is the option here. So the users are expected to rank this in an order. So let me save it and let's preview what it looks like. Let me preview this. Oh, he's gonna ask me some funny things. It's okay, that's not the problem. So let me try and preview this. Okay, so you can see now that I've broken my. I'm sure we must have seen this kind of forms that we fill recently. Did we notice that most of the forms that we fill recently now takes this dimension? So next, male, okay, 32, married, education, next, yeah. Next. Next. Section 4. So this is section 4 now. So we have to put an instruction there to guide users. So basically, the most important will be at the top. So we have to put that instruction there. So for example, now if for me, access to healthcare is most important, I can drag it up. Oh, I feel access to education is equally important. Oh, if there's a mistake, I can reset. And I'm back to this again. So I could put an int. So can somebody give me suggest an int? Rank them based on the order of importance. The most important is at the top, while the least important is at the bottom. Something like this. We are fine. So we can ask the question, okay, oh, maybe we want our enumerators to take pictures of that environment. Okay. So we have question types under media and files. If it's an image, this is an image, could drag an image here. Okay. So I could say, okay, for image, what number is this? It's number 9. So for image, provide an image of the building. So what option do you want them? They should browse it on the phone or use a camera to take the pictures. Okay, what's the maximum size? You can have a minimum and maximum size. I mean, maximum size, number of pictures. How many of such pictures you want them to take? Okay. So if that's for image, what about if you want them to upload a file? There's a file upload there also that they can actually attach. So this is question 11. Let's upload the consent form. That's for the sake. Okay. So there are various types that we can allow: PDF, doc, PPT. So if I want to restrict them to just PDF only and documents, I can uncheck those I don't need. And I have it there. If I want an audio file, there's also the audio file there. It will also ask them, please upload the recording of the interview, which could be transcribed later. Okay, something like this. And the next one, finally, under the media and files, I have signature. Please append your signature. We are fine. So we've got something like that. And we are fine. So on the last page, the last page, location. So like I told us about the geolocation, if I am not picking that up and I want to pick it up from the address, so I can, there are two options. I can do, okay, give me the address of where you are. Please provide the address of your location. This will look interesting. So let me try and preview this for the address. Preview. Okay. 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 Let's move on. This is just the part that we have compulsory. I think this is not compulsory. Okay, good. So for signature, I can just sign. And I've got my signature there. For recording, I could click on this, or I could record audio directly, whichever is convenient for me. I could either select the audio file, or I click on record, and the system attempts to. This is even on the phone. This is on my laptop. The same thing on the device also. We can also work with it also. Same thing for image of the building. I could click on this, or I activate the camera, and the system attempts to capture my camera. Okay, good. So you can see it there, and that's fine for me. Okay, so next, address. Good. So this is address now. So let me try and attempt to put an address there. Let me see if I can get my house. Block 2, flat 3, Gongola Road. Okay. University of Ibadan. My address is not on the map. This is not fair. This is not fair at all. Okay, let me use my Lagos address, 6 Adebiayi.
Canada address.
Let me try and use my Lagos address. Take your show. Good. So this is available. But actually, ordinarily, if I use Gongola straight up, Gongola Road, University of Ibadan. Okay. Ayobami, you can go ahead, sir.
Thank you. I want to ask if we can use the GPS location in this place.
Sure, we can. You know, there were two options. There's a map and there's an address. I chose the address.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I actually chose the address.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're most welcome. Because that's quite easy. Good enough. It's something close to Ibadan now. That's something close to Ibadan. Okay, so this is the one you were talking about. That why don't I just pick up my map here? Something like this is what you want. This is what you prefer, right?
Yes, that was my question exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. I just scroll and zoom to your location and just select that. If I want to, you can see this has whose address and the GPS, the location enabled. Okay. You can see use device location. There are several options when opening the survey or only when opening the question. So there are several options for us there. Okay. So let's try. Let me enable. So you can see it now. Points. Okay. Precise location, and that will be fine. And that will be fine. So there are several options we can actually use to pick this up as much as possible. But in real life, for most people, they will not see this for most people. That's why for those complicated forms, you'll not even see it, but definitely to still ask you to put on your location. Okay. So that's like I thought. This is quite easily done. This is a web using the web interface to design our forms. The form can be as complicated as you can imagine. Okay, let me save this. Oh, network again. Load network. Okay, it's good. We also have some person we didn't even make attempt to use. We have things like Likert scale. This is Likert scale, where you have strongly agree. It could be anything anyway. Where it could be anything. Actually, I mean, you have the option to customize your choices as much as possible. Could be anything. Okay, so okay, these are some.
Hello, Mr. Olarwaju.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that other question, when I was trying to interject the other time when you were talking about the issue of perception. The question of perception, the way we usually have it is that when you have statements and you are going to react to those statements to the extent to which you agree or disagree with them. Okay. So when you are talking about this Likert scale now, it brought back my attention.
So you prefer the Likert scale for the perception?
So yeah, the Likert scale will now come, as response options for a number of statements. So it will be in a grid-like kind of arrangements.
Okay, let me see if I have anyone.
You get what I'm saying?
I get you.
Now, we have a question like that was grid-like before last year.
What about this? You like this now?
Yeah, something like this.
Look at this now. Look at this now.
Yes.
What has been the challenge faced by beneficiary, blah, blah. So you can see.
Yeah, yes, this is a perception question.
Yeah.
This perception question.
Good. So this matches what you want exactly.
Yeah, this is it.
It's okay. So for this question, I use the Likert scale to actually, because it's a broad range of choices for people to actually pick from. So quite understood. Okay, look at this particular question now. So at this now, okay. Use my current location. Allow.
Is this our form?
This is not your own form. This is another form.
Okay.
You can see I asked it to use my current location, and it picked out my latitude and longitude for me, just like that. So, okay. So if I look at this question now, they've got like 3 questions linked together. Look at this now. If you are from Bayelsa State, for example, it asks you which local, because they were selected 3 states to carry out this survey. So if I'm from Bayelsa, I have the local governments in Bayelsa. Even when I click on the local government, Kokuma, for example, I also have the community within that Kokuma. Can we say that, sir? So if I pick Ondo, I have local government in Ondo, and I have, so the nesting continues as much as possible. Now, for this complicated nesting now, this is where the challenge now comes, where we say, okay, once the form gets complicated, using the web alone might not be the best route to go about it. Are you understanding where I'm talking about now? So now imagine if you are doing a survey that will cover the entire country. It will cover, how do we call it now? It's going to cover
the 36 states of the nation and Abuja.
Exactly. Something like that now. So you can imagine the complication that will be in that kind of a form, where you have 777
local government areas.
Yeah, exactly. You have 36 states plus FCT, 774 local governments.
Yes.
You also have for each local government between 8 and 12 wards. So for such form now, the data is quite much. For such form, you would not expect that you're going to design that on the web. So that is where now we need to now move to the XLS form. So the XLS form is the standard for survey design. Everybody uses it. OGK, Kobo, everybody uses Excel. It is a standard. Just like if you are designing a website, HTML is a standard. If you are using Microsoft any word processing, the various word processing tools, they also have standards that apply such that you have a file in Microsoft Word, you can open that same file in Apple Pages, you can open it in some other editor in Linux as much as possible. So for the complicated surveys, we make use of XLS form for the complicated survey. That's what we actually use for the complicated form, we call it XLS form. Yeah. So it's got its own complete documentation for complicated surveys. And it has become like a standard. So it's basically a way to create your surveys using Excel. So Excel is a standard that we use for XLS form. So you can see the various question types that you can have around it, as many as possible. And it's also in this area that we also do multi-languages. For example, let me show us a survey right away. Okay. Okay. Let me show you the survey now. Okay. I think something like this. Okay. All this is still open for submission. Okay, good. Default language. Good. Look at this survey now. Let's look at this survey now. You can see the questions are in English, right? Is that so?
Yes.
So I can change the language to Yoruba. And you can see it. You can see the questions in Yoruba now. Ẹ̀yà ẹni, akọ, abo, irúfẹ́ àìsàn, ìpele ẹ̀kọ́ tí ó ga jù. You can see it. Kò kàwé rárá, ó kàwé mẹ́fà, ó kàwé mẹ́wàá, ó lọ ilé ẹ̀kọ́ gíga. You know, this is important when the enumerators are, it saves them the headache of, translating the English to Yoruba or to Igbo or to Hausa on the field. It saves them a lot of headache. Of course, so it's okay, so what's your state of marital status now? You don't have to do that. Kò tí ṣègbéyàwó, tí ṣègbéyàwó, àjọ ń gbé papọ̀, àti kọra sílẹ̀, àti pínyà, opó. So now these cost forms are now getting a little bit complicated. And in this instance, what it means is that our normal drag and drop might not be sufficient to get us up and running. And that will take us to the Survey123 Connect. I learned quite a lot of people had challenges connecting with Survey123. You are most likely to be able to download this via the Windows Store on your computer. Before now, it's quite easier to download things, but as we are getting more sophisticated these days in terms of technology, they are trying to bring us, to a central location. How many of us were able to download the 123 Connect on our computers?
Yes, I've done that.
Okay, good. Thanks a lot. So are you done with the installation also?
Well, I'm at the point of the password and asking me for the password.
Okay, good. Okay, so you are somewhere here. Let me sign out.
Yeah.
So you are somewhere here now.
Yeah.
Somewhere here now. So you need to sign in. They are somewhere here. So you need to
Yeah.
sign in. So you are somewhere here now.
Yeah. Yes.
So, exactly. So I can go ahead and sign in with my same account. Good. So I'm signing into the ArcGIS online platform. And the beauty of this XLS form is that the same code you write for ODP is the same code you carry anywhere for Kobo or even for Survey123. The same code applies to everyone.
Okay.
So if you are logged in successfully, the same surveys that you have access to using the web version, you also be able to have, you also have access to it via the Survey123 Connect. You can see the same service I have access to, I still have access to them via the Survey123 Connect. So can I locate the survey we were working with a while ago? So what I do is this. I make sure, let me go back to my survey. This is my survey. I'll try and make duplicates so that I'm so sure that I don't tamper with what I have on the web presently. I always make sure I do that. So I can ensure that I do that. So this is the original survey that we have on the web. You can see it's not yet downloaded. It's just looking like as if it's on my mobile phone, right? On the Survey123 mobile app. You can see the icon, the cloud icon here. So I click on it. This is not on your computer. Would you like to download this? So yes, I want to download it. Download this, taking a while. It's not unexpected. It's still my network, M10. This is taking too long. I hope all is well. Okay, good. So I've got it loaded now. So I can click on OK. Immediately you see that the cloud icon is no longer there. So I can click on it now, the poverty reduction. And what do you have now? You can see this is looking as if it's on my phone. I don't know if we're actually feeling it. This is looking like as if it's actually on my phone, the mobile app version. Right? So this is useful for testing. Mail. And all blah, 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 blah. So now, as it is now, I can do little here. Anything that's doing editing that I have to do that via the Microsoft Excel format. So this is where we have the XLS from here. Can we see it? So once I click on this now, it is going to open this survey in Microsoft Excel format. I hope my screen is visible. It doesn't look like people are seeing my screen. No?
Yes.
Which of my screen are you
It's
seeing? Sir?
visible, you can see.
Okay.
Visible, please. Yeah.
Okay, thanks a lot. Okay. Okay, good.
Ahmed Olariwaju's screen is seen.
Okay, thanks a lot. So this is XLS form here. Now, and this is what it looks like. So all the grammars that we did, look at, it's just a simple Excel sheet. All the things that we have been doing since. It's just a simple Excel sheet. Very simple. So let's try and dissect. Let me increase my, let me zoom in, I might, okay. So you can see we have quite a number of sheets. We have the survey itself. We have the choices. All the choices we're doing there. So all those coding that we're doing, this is where we also do it. You can see all the coding that we're doing. This one that I did not do, I can just come and do it right away here. Command C, Control C, and I put it here. It's 3 minutes, 7 and 8. Oh, 7 only. Okay, so you can see it effortlessly. And if I need to change anything here, and you can see that, okay? So back to the survey again. So for every question that was asked, these are the questions that was asked. You can see the section. Each section is a group. What would you notice? Oh, as at the time we downloaded this, what did we notice? This survey was not, this was the last published that we had yesterday. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes.
So which simply means that I'm not working with the updated file.
Yes.
I need to close this. I won't save it. I won't save it. So I'm not going to save it. So I need to go back to the web and do what? Publish. You can see this survey has changes that have not been published. So I need to go back to my design and now publish. Exactly. Publish. It's moving faster today. Once I publish, by the time I go back to my Survey123, I would obviously see that, oh, the effect on it. It's almost there. Okay, good. So I've got it published. So let me go back to my Survey123 Connect now. Let me go back. Okay, I can refresh this. Okay, good. So let me open my poverty reduction again. Any effect yet? Let me sign out. Let me sign out completely. So I can, let me sign out so that I can see the latest updates. Sign in. Now, a note of warning. Any survey that you edit from the Survey123 Connect, you cannot access, you cannot access it again via the designer. Once I edit this survey, I cannot access again via design. Let me make a copy, save as. Let me make a copy, save as original. Okay, good. So I've got, this is the original. So let me open it again now. Okay, good. Aha, so it's reflecting now. Okay, good. Okay, good. So now let me open the XLS form again. This is XLS form. Let me go to the choices. Okay. So for the choices now, I'm going to make this again. Control V, get that done. Let me add one more question. Okay, where is that question on Leichhardt? Is that question on Leichhardt? Where is it again, sir? I thought we had a question.
No, I think it was from another form. It was from another form. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. So let me add one more question here now. Let me create a blank line. Let me add one more question here. Okay. Now look at this now. I'll add more question here. Control C, Control V. 4. Okay. Do you have access to mobile phone? Let me make this mobile phone. Mobile phone. Good. So I've got this now. I've got what happened? Is it open this way again? This is not open this way. What? Why? Don't tell me this. Let me save again. Okay. File, save as. No problems. Okay. Let me save that. Let me just put one there. Okay. It's being used by another file. I don't have another file using this document. You have to allow me to save this thing, this man. Let me save somewhere again. Save as. Okay. Desktop. Let me save somewhere. Okay. So I've saved it somewhere. So let me close this. Okay. So now, this is its own publish also. You can see the publish here also. So, publish. Once a survey is published, further changes to the survey design may require the picture survey. Okay, so let's go ahead. Options, what are the options? Okay, we are fine with defaults. Publish survey. So it's trying to publish. So those, what we can see during the web place, we can see this nice, trying to create all the necessary features. Okay, we're almost there. And we are done. Okay, good. We are done. So let me go back to the web and let's see what we have on the web. Let me try and refresh this page now, and we'll see what will happen. This particular page now, I want to try and refresh it. And this is design, original design view. Okay, no. Okay, let's go to my surveys. Now, we now have this. So this is the original, which we just modified, right? Which we just modified now. Let's open it. We still have our default there. Let's open it. So Let's look at the design. What do we notice? What do we notice? Hello? Are we
Hi.
there?
Hi.
What do we notice?
Hello.
Yes, sir. What do you notice now? After it has been published, and I go to the design tab, what do we notice?
It is showing that you cannot make further modifications on this place again because you have published it on the Survey123 Connect.
Exactly. So that's the implication. Any survey you design via Survey Connect, you cannot modify it on the web.
It means
You cannot.
So it means one we need to go back to 123, modify and publish again. Okay.
Exactly. Or you do your preview in the 123. You can do your preview there. You can do so it has its own preview there. So you can't come back to this page to do any modification.
Okay.
That's what you can do. Every other thing will work. So we added a new question. Let's see how that question will look like. Look at the time we save. So when you use the hand-coded, you save more time, you have more flexibility as much as possible to play around with. Now, you can see now, this image, because it's not saved on my local file, I didn't modify that. I forgot that. So next, it's obvious. This is well understood. Next. Age 34, married. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah. Okay. Okay. What was the question we just added? What was that? What section was that? The question we added last. What section was that in? Question we added last. I didn't see it. We added a question recently.
Access to computer.
Yes.
Access to mobile phone.
It's not here.
Access, it's not here. It's supposed to be access to mobile phone that follow this.
It's not here. So that because
I wonder whether you saved it before you published.
I actually saved, but it was not allowing me to save. You know, I'm using for my computer. I'm using a virtual computer. It's not a real computer, so that's why I couldn't access my drive. Anyway, let me go back to it again. This is it. You will see what I was talking about now. You can see it was not saved. Did you see that? It was not saved there. So what I can do, it doesn't allow me to save this for obvious reasons, which I can't fathom. Anyway, that's not a problem. But basically, the whole idea of the sub, let me show us more examples. Good. Now, so this is where we define under the survey, where we define all our questions under the survey. This start and end, we are trying to track how long, we call them keywords. How long, when did the survey start, when did it end? This gives us an idea of how long it took them to fill the survey. Now, for grouping, when we're using group data, this is the code for group, begin_group. You don't have to actually cram anything. You don't need to cram anything because everything is somewhere here. everything you need to work on this tool is somewhere here. Everything, you don't need to cram anything. Anything, you don't need to cram anything. These are the words that you cannot use. You can see, these are the words that you cannot use. Everything you want is there already. So you don't need to cram anything. So what we do most time is we'll start the design from the web interface to build our skeleton, and we go back to Survey123 Connect. Look at question type, all the possible question type. It's here. And you can also see that there's a column here that, okay, which of them is supported on the web and which is supported on the field app. Okay, so almost everything you need to get to use your software effectively. Okay, so let's go back. So these are the question types. Now, when you see anything like text, it means that the respondent is expected to provide response in text. Decimal covers numbers. GeoPoint captures the current location where that survey has been taking place. Okay, and now select one. This means that this is an option that you need to select one out of several options. So for that particular question that I showed you that time that were dependent on each other, this is actually where the magic happens. So you can see it now. I'm trying to move it to somewhere. Okay. So this is it. This is where the filtering takes place. This is where the filtering takes place. If you select a state, it will bring a local one based on these states. If you select a community, it will go further and give you based on states and LG that you selected. Now look at this complication here. It's very simple in actual fact. This is where we actually did the magic. Choices. Let me increase this a bit. Okay, this is it now. Where is it? Where is states? Okay, can we see it? Can we see it?
Yes.
Look at where we define the states to be covered. Can we see it? Bayelsa, Edo, and Ondo.
Yes.
Now, the LGA to be covered. These are the LGAs. So for each LGA, we have another column called states. So we also pick that from there. Now, we get to community again. We have state and LGA. So those complicated forms that you actually see, this is how they actually design them from XLS form. So nobody goes through the stress of putting everything in one Dropbox. It's actually pulling that data from the Excel file. So no matter how complex it is, you can still go further. That means I can say, okay, within the community, I can still go further to further break down. So that's that. Okay. Now, you can also generate a unique ID for each respondent also. And we didn't generate anyone for this particular one, but there's a feature for that. You can, this will not be, so you can generate some unique ID programmatically by writing some SLS form code, such that for each respondent, you know, sometimes while you are working, the issue of privacy and data concern comes into place. Now you want to write a lot of things during the analysis and reporting stage as much as possible. And at this point now, you can see end group. So that means this group of questions, they are done with this group of questions. Let me look at it here again. This page. This page. Okay, I want to open that particular form. Okay, so you can see this is a pre-intervention stage. So you can see these are groupings. These are all the groupings that exist in that document. Obviously, section F was not under any group. So let's see what section F was not under any group. What was responsible for that? This is section B. Are you sure we are not looking at the wrong form? Okay, this is section B. We can see section B there, right? What about section? This is section C, knowledge, exposure, and responses. Section D, what is the challenge faced by beneficiaries as a result of ongoing? This is what we use it like that. This is section E, usage of agricultural inputs. Okay. Aha. Section F. Why was section F not there? What went wrong with section F? Section F was not captured. Something must have gone wrong. Begin group. Section F was not captured. What happened? And G was captured. H was captured. So I was also captured. These are the Likert scale on I. So for each of these questions now, this is where the complexity now comes into place. So let me look at for it for us. This is the appearance. This is where we set all that. This is under the appearance that we set all that for us. This is the appearance. So if you look at the appearance here now, you can see, Dr. King, remember we're doing minimal, compact, horizontal.
Yes.
This is where we decide. You can see you can see, compare this with using the web base now. You can easily define what you want your form to look like.
What it look should be like.
Exactly. So you have more flexibility using the connect than that. So it's under the appearance section.
Mm.
And you have to require this is a question required or not. This is where you actually, yes, it's required, no, it's not required. We'll get that sorted out over there. Okay. Look at this now. This is a constraint. Are you satisfied with government's response to the ongoing rush? So based on the response in 7, will determine what 8 will look like at the end of the day. So for the option of when you use multi-languages, let's open an example where we actually use multi-language. So that we'll see how we're able to use that multi-language. We've got Rich. Okay, Rich Nigeria, February 2022. Okay, so where is it again? Rich Nigeria. Okay, good. So let's open this up now. Okay. So where did they append the languages? This is where the issue comes in place. I can see where the error is coming from now. So can we see it now? Is this visible?
Yes.
So you can see it's still under it. So under the survey, you can see this under survey. You know, the default label is English.
Yeah.
So if you want to include another language, you need to specify label Yoruba, and you provide all the values for that particular language. Under where you have the question, the survey. The same thing, choice is also, you can also have that there also specified. We can see it also in choices too. You can see it in choices too. everything you need is actually specified as much as possible to guide us in creating our service.
So you have to stand again. Let's go down because of the changes. Now I just stay like
I'm in a session of okay, sorry, sir. So this is where it works. So you can see that. But now the question is that you don't just wake up, oh, I understand Yoruba, I can translate the English to Yoruba. There are people who have been trained to do all these, what do we call them? Language transcription as much as possible. They are responsible for most of this translation as much as possible. Okay, let's move on. So even to the int also, you also have the Yoruba also for the int also. And that we are able to safeguard that nothing is actually lost while working on this task. Okay, let me see if I can. Okay. Now look at this also. Under this also, you can capture a lot of other information, device ID, the IME of the device. This is very good if you actually want to capture what your enumerators are doing. You know, there's some instances where some hanky-panky, a lot happen. So if you are giving them devices to work on, you are sure that, oh, it is a device you have given to them that is being used to capture this data as much as possible. Now, we also have notes. We didn't use it all through while we were working on previous survey. Let me show you an example of a note now in one of us. Now, let's look at this. Now, look at this, where we have the description. You can see it's under notes. So you can still do all your styling and the likes there. All the styling can still take place right here under the notes as much as possible. You can see it will not have any label, but all our HTML formatting takes place in that section as much as possible. We also have the footer. These are things that are not part of the survey. They are like to make our survey readable as much as possible. And you can see our audio files is just a question type audio. Our image is just a question type image. And this is the geopoints that we talked about earlier to capture our location while we are working on our data collection processes. But it's not everybody that will be involved in XLS4 because it's a very tedious exercise. And most times, one or two persons on the team are saddled with this responsibility, or sometimes it's actually pushed out to some consultants too. It's something that is good that we can invest some time into learning it as much as possible. So this is what I was showing you earlier on. So you can see an example now. You are trying to create, look at this today. This will capture today's dates. Okay, so look at this now. Gender, select _1 gender. Select _1 gender. The label is respondent's gender. So under the choices, this gender is the name of that question. And don't forget, it's a list. So in this choice survey, we will pull out the name of that list _1 gender. look at examples of what I've done in mine. Let's look at our survey. Let's pick gender in our own. Where's our own gender here? Now, okay, good. What is your gender? Because in our own case, we use web to generate this. That's why you see the name is unnecessarily long. So if we go to the choice now, we'll be looking for this entire length. Something that could have just been gender. Look at the choice now. Okay. Let's look at it now. Can we see it? Can we locate can we locate it? Can we locate it? You can see this is it here. List underscore sec. That's it. Something that should have just been gender. But because it was generated via the web interface, it will just give you, to just pick. Of course, while we're doing this on our modified schema, we could have done this also to make life easy for us. We could have done this also. Modify schema, okay, publish. Modify schema. Can you see that now? I don't know if we are following. Can we see this now? So I could have actually modified this here before pushing it to the Survey123.
Connect.
So once it's at the Survey123 now, it means that, of course, once I'm ready to work on, I can modify this and republish. This is where we have the most problem, because if you miss any step while you are creating your, so you don't need anything complicated. This is a select underscore one. This is it. Let me open this up. Under types, you can see it, select underscore one. So the name of the list now comes after it. But this is the form select underscore one. Why the name of the list comes after it? If it's multiple choice, you can see select underscore multiple. If you look at our question now, we had a select, can we see it here now? We have a select underscore multiple here. So that's a multiple question. So this naming is unnecessarily long, and we actually don't need it at all. Don't need it at all. Just unnecessarily long. And if for any reason, oh, I don't like the appearance, like I showed us, anything you don't like, any appearance you want, this is where you actually select it. And you come back to the choices again and ensure that what's going between name and label? Name and label. This is for the coding. This is what will appear to the enumerators and the respondents. This is what we are practicing. But behind the screen for the coding, this is what we actually have behind the screen for the coding as much as possible. Okay, so let's go back to our survey. This is what we opened last. That was published. Okay. Now, for the paging, what else we do for the paging? For the paging also, what else do we notice? So to create a page from XLS form, you next two begin groups together. Look at this now. This is a page. You can see we've got a begin group that stands for the page. Okay. Then the questions commence. Because we need to be very careful how we manage some of this as much as possible. It looks complex. It's normal for it to look complex, but by the time you keep using it over time, you will get better at it. And since you can always see what you are doing immediately, it's a lot easier to actually see it. Please give me 5 minutes. Let me quickly resolve this my stuff that is not saving in the right drive. Let me restart my PC. 5 minutes, please. So that we're able to see the effect in real time. I also use that as our 5 minutes break also. Thanks a lot, sirs. And ma.
Things are done. So that last year, I was on a project and they have challenges. So when they had the challenge and everything, like the Excel sheet, I just know, yes, you can go to Excel sheet to do this, to do that. And I just said, okay, instead of staying on this format that these enumerators are going to use on the field, why don't we go to the Excel sheet and do the correction there, save it, and then probably it will come back here. It's just because of the rudimental knowledge that I had. And they all thought that, oh, this man knows this thing. So there is difference between knowledge and skill. And the most important thing, along with what Dr. Badiru said, is to have the right attitude. So if you are interested in having more skill, to develop your skill in using it, because when there is a project, you may move from the level of an enumerator or from a field supervisor to the level of a data analyst. And they are no more ready to engage a data analyst that cannot design the format for collecting that data with other scientists. And we have some examples among you that are on a project now. They are on several projects now because of the little measurement and scaling and everything and analysis. That is why they are there now, and they are employed virtually. They are on several projects. So one good example is the Nigerian census that has been postponed indefinitely. It's all because people who design it doesn't have in-depth knowledge of using this Survey123. And you've heard what Mr. Olariwa just said. It can be problematic when you have too much information you want to collect. And that is the problem they are having with the census that has been postponed. What is the relevance of collecting information on climate change in census? What is the relevance of health issues in census? We want to know the number of houses in an area, the number of people within an household, male, female, and their educational status. So they went and dumped such into that, and that program that they developed is giving them problem. So I didn't mean they engage people like you here now. They won't have such problem. So when I was called, I told them that is the problem you will have. But once they are not ready, you know, Nigerians, once they are not ready to correct anything that they have done, they will not call you again. And that is why they are there now. That is why they are where they are now. I'm so happy with Mr. Olariwa because he said it. You have to collect relevant data that are connected. So, and when you are not in need of the 1, 2, 3 connect, you don't need to, but it's good for us to have the knowledge, the rudimental knowledge, because that is what we call a consultant. A consultant that cannot provide solution is not a consultant. We all have to move from the level of specialist. We are all on specialist now. They must be able to consult you, whether you are not a consultant because you are able to go to the field and collect data. You must know how to design the data you are going to collect. You must know the kind of information, and you must know how to analyze. If you are not an analyst, you must know what the analyst is going to do for you. So that's just, I want to chip in to encourage every one of us that on this platform. Once again, I appreciate Mr. Olariwaju for creating time, and the university, and every one of us for creating time to be. I'm very happy. I've learned some other things from Survey123 and then connect this morning now. Not that I've not heard about it before, but not as in-depth as between yesterday and today now. But trust me, you all know me, I will not sit down and say, I want to do it, but I will say, this is what I want, and this is how I want it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay, I have another hand up. Christiana Daniel. You can speak up. Not sure it's there. What about Dr. Nathaniel? You can speak up. Dr. Nathaniel, are they there? Hello, Dr. Nathaniel.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, you can speak. You have your hand raised up.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So sorry. You can see I'm panting. My battery went so low. I went outside to go and power on my generator. It didn't come up. So I think let me start by commending and appreciating our Olariwaju for this very good delivery. Let me also acknowledge the fact that Mr. Olariwaju is a very fast someone. I think we did a training together on R. If you can remember, that was the first time I will be meeting you here. And we had another stint when myself and Dr. Yekin came to your office. It was a well-delivered session, and I think I really appreciate as much time as I've spent here. So this, my comment goes more directly to the department, and I'm happy we are all here. I think as a way of ensuring that this training or this knowledge. Hello, can we hear me?
Sure, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Oh, okay. As a way of ensuring that this
Mute your mic.
As a way of ensuring that this training is institutionalized in a way in our department, because I think it's now an age whereby nobody wants to start dealing with papers again. Everybody wants to go digital. And of course, that's the trend, especially with respect to survey related studies. So I want to suggest that after this class, since we have the recordings, I saw the recordings for the one of yesterday, and I want to believe the recordings of today.
Yes, it will be available also.
Dr. Nathaniel, are you off again? Sorry. That's how Nigeria Energy is treating all of us.
And maybe tomorrow.
Okay, thanks a lot. We appreciate that feedback. I want to share some other insight with us. I remember last year, this same training, we did it for Department of, we were still a center then, Petroleum, Energy, Economics, and Law. Professor Olubusoye is head of the department. Ever since Professor Olubusoye got to start using Survey123, in fact, he can't leave it anymore. Well, this is so easy for his own or his analytics. I mean, why is he stressing himself? He can connect with a lot of people. And I mean, he has almost, in a way, make it, I mean, a go-to at the department. So this is something that we can also incorporate into our department also. We can always have back-to-back training as much as possible. Even if you want physical sessions, we can always organize physical sessions also for us as much as possible. This is why we are here, to ensure that we support research and development in the university. So thanks a lot.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Ahmed, for that reaction. I think I don't need to continue what I started any longer. I think you just helped me to drive it home. Thank you.
You're welcome, Dr. Nathaniel. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Larwaju. So how do we move on from here?
Yes, sir, we are moving on a bit. Oh, I didn't know I was muted. I was already speaking. Don't mind me. It's okay, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. So, okay, so now let me continue. So Dr. Ekin, the question you asked earlier on. So if you look at from the Survey123 form, we've got a geopoint somewhere here, a geopoint here, somewhere here. So I won't give it a label. Once it doesn't have a label, are you with me, sir?
Okay.
Are you with me, sir?
Okay. Okay.
Once it has no label and
yes.
appearance, I have hidden the inputs and required is yes. Once you open that survey, it will ask you, please turn on your location. So it will force you to turn on your location of the device.
Okay.
And you'll be fine.
So without turning it on, you will not be able to move.
It's a required question. You cannot, it must capture it.
Okay.
It will not move. It must capture it. So thanks a lot, sir, on that. So
how will it appear? How will it appear? That means it will not even appear at all.
It will not appear at all. It will just pick the location by itself. It won't appear. It won't ask you to. It won't appear.
Now, can we do this also under the standard format without coming to XLS?
I want to believe it should be done also. It should be a possibility also. We can try it. So that would be a good assignment this tomorrow.
Let's see.
That would be good tomorrow. We've not had any take-home assignment all this while.
Is that?
I said it would be a good assignment against tomorrow. So let's all try it out. How you can capture location without asking for user.
Without asking it to show.
That would be a good assignment. Thanks a lot, Dr. Ekin, for that.
Okay.
So let me move on to this is my original. This particular one now, I did not use the Survey123 Connect on it, so it's still fresh, it's still intact. I still have it as it is. Okay.
Yes, correct.
So yes, so I am still able to access it as much as possible, and it's still very, very, very fine. Okay. Okay, good. So now you have other things you can also play with in terms of color scheme. If you go to the appearance section, so you've got colors like actually select. So I can change my color to something. Okay, you can see my color reflection almost immediately, right? So the input text color, I can also change it. So I can change a lot of things on my survey. Okay, so I've got some teams also. So these are things I can make to mean, but you must be very careful of the audience so that you don't blind the audience. Something that they can easily pick up as much as possible will be very, very good for them. So for that, that's under the appearance. So at the end of submitting a form, what I think is that you can give them a feedback. Oh, thank you. Your response was submitted successfully. What are the things you can do after submission? If I get it enabled now, okay, you could direct them to another URL automatically. It's for them to leave that particular place. That is also a possibility under the options category that you can always do as much as possible. And that will solve your that challenge of that. So, like Prof said earlier, you need to keep your survey as simple as possible and ensure that you only collect the data that you need, especially in this world of data protection.
Well done, sir.
Especially in this world of data protection, we are only supposed to collect only data that we need. And if there are data we are collecting that needs ethical approval, we'll also ensure that we get that done as much as possible, especially if those of us we collect data that involves personally identifiable information. That is very, very important. Okay, so let me go to data submitted yesterday. Okay, I want to save this. Did I make any? Yes, there were some things so let me save this and go back to my data collected. Sorry, my network is taking a while to load. It's taking almost forever. Oh my God. Okay. Let me go to data. Oh my God, it's still taking almost forever. Okay. Okay, so this is, okay, we said some people submitted data yesterday and is recording a location here. Are we sure this person is not using VPN?
Inside the Atlantic Ocean? Because this one is not an habited place. It's a God of Guinea.
So these are some of the things that happen. So now, let me open this in Map Viewer. Let me open this data in Map Viewer. So suppose I'm okay, this is 1 of 15. Okay, so I can actually look at this even from the map. So suppose I actually laid emphasis on the location where this data is being selected. So I can actually go into the map viewer and see what are people submitting from different parts of the world and see how it looks like. So for those who love maps, they will find this very, very interesting also to play with. They find it very, very interesting to play with. Okay. But we don't have any serious data involving maps in this particular data set. So we'll not be able to enjoy this. But ordinarily, assuming we have data from different points, this I will just see effortlessly. You can imagine, because what I was saying. So within the same application, ArcGIS, you are able to move around because you are leveraging on the power of the GIS capability that comes automatically by using this. It's not just data collection alone. it's more, I mean, for the visualization aspect, you can easily plot your data on any of these graphs, and of course, you can change them as much as possible to reflect whatever you want. So there will having an upcoming sessions very soon where we want people to really leverage on the power of GIS. And everything now is now location based. So, and we have all these facilities available within the license. I mean, our user accounts. These are things that we have. These are possibilities that we can always leverage on as much as possible. So apart from this, also, we also have the ArcGIS Insights. We also have ArcGIS Insights. So let me see if I can launch the ArcGIS Insights. It's also part of the licenses that we provided. Okay, this is ArcGIS Insights. So this is more like an analysis and visualization tool, so that within the same environment, you have access to your data and you can share this as much as possible with your team members. Sorry, my network is getting tired. It's not unexpected. Wow, this is taking forever. I think I have to leave this guy for now. Okay, let me go back to my my survey, my original survey. I need to show you when survey submissions are made on our surveys. At point in time, we need to edit them. We can always edit submissions. This is part of the data cleaning exercise, because it's better you edit submission at a central place before pulling out this data, or before other team members need to pull out this data. Okay, I think I'm back. Okay, okay. So let me try and edit some of the data here. Okay, sorry about the network. It is still my Airtel that I'm still using. Okay, good. So this is my data set. I can pull this up like this. Now, for example, if for any reason we need to edit any of this record submitted, any of this submitted, I can always come here and edit them. For example, you own the land property, for example, now, this, and now, can we say this now? I can click here and select no. You can see that because in the original design for this particular data set, you cannot type. It's a select option. So also within my data tab, the same thing still happens. The same thing still happens. So, for example, what are your main sources of income now? 1,4,5. I have that saved also, and it's saved. Such that if it's easier, it's better you save, you make any correction on the central server than having to be downloading to Excel, now editing and now sending it to the other team members. Every correction, you make sure is reflected on the server before downloading again for an update. I don't know if we got that part clear. Okay. You can go ahead and ask.
Very well.
These are responses from the audience, for example. and
Yes.
then the user at the back end is the one trying to make correction. I don't know. I want to get the reason for this. Why will I, as the owner of the project, now be editing other people's responses?
Okay.
Or
Now you have enumerators who have gone to the field to capture data. For whatever reason, this data has been submitted. Along the line, an error was spotted. That error needs to be corrected. Somebody was captured as a male, happened to be a female. Do we leave it and just ignore it? So this has to be corrected. Of course, it's not going to be the enumerator that made this correction. It is the supervisor, or who is there before supervisor? Dr. Ekin, help me out. Because she asked a valid person who does the correction. So depending on your team,
The
like
supervisor is the field supervisor.
the field supervisor
Yeah.
who needs to ensure that the data submitted is valid, right?
Yeah. Before they are synced or synchronized, he validates all the data collected on the field.
That's why if you look at this, there's a setting here. I like that. Let's under this collaborate, there's a setting there. Under collaborate, I like this. Share results. Okay. Now, what can viewers see? Records in the survey, only their own submitted records. So, if viewers who have a right to view this can see their own submitted record and they spot an error, they will escalate this so that this has to be corrected. Do we get the logic now? So
Yes,
it's possible
yes.
to give them opportunity to view their results. Of course, it's only view only. You give them, you want them to export data, but they cannot escalate such because it will always happen during data cleaning. It will always happen. You have reason to clean data. All this will take place. All this editing that we're talking about will take place during the data cleaning exercise. It's not as they are downloading data from the field. I mean, the data collected on the field will not clean it at all. We will still have reason to clean some of this data set as much as possible. Okay, is that worth taking?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Olawale. Let me just mention one or two words to this. The person that is asking also know that there are reasons why one may need to clean data. For example, you have a respondent who is maybe a young person, and the person is telling you, when you say how many children, the person is telling you 5 children. You will know that that is probably an error of omission or commission. So you definitely, harmonize it. You have to align whether that person actually a young person by the age completed, or the person actually has children or not. So these kind of things do happen really. And then one other thing you mentioned yesterday, which I want to reemphasize, and I don't want anybody to miss, for example, is that if we have household data to collect, we will say, for example, anybody who gives an age less than so cannot indicate that I have a child. Something like that. It will preclude them automatically, so that some of this error may not even feature at all. But in case you are not that proactive in the design of the data, in the design of the form to collect the data, and that kind of error comes, then you know that error has to be corrected centrally before you give it out.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot, sir, for that heads up. So we appreciate everyone who was able to join this session. So, thanks a lot. So I think this is a convenient place to stop the recording and call it a day.
Yeah, really. Thank you very much.